Hey everyone, Tappers here once again, and welcome back to the Mega Man 7 8-bit Kirby challenge. Now we get to tackle Wily and his awesome eyebrows and high-pitched screaming, screeching saucer of awesomeness. Now we get to actually take on his fortress stages, and pretty much the same rules apply. I can only use one weapon for that specific stage, and no E-tanks, no tanks of any sort, no dying. However, for these fortress stages, I have to pick a different weapon for each stage. For this first stage, I am actually starting with the crush noise, and here I have to be more of a pacifist on this first bunch of the stage, and I just barely failed that jump. Even though I've got a ton of ammo with this crush noise, there's a reason why I have to hold on to most of it. Until then, let's listen to some awesome music. Not quite as good as the Super NES version, but hey, that and combined with a dark light show with spinning platforms, it's always a good thing. I'm able to dodge those pippies with a smooth move right there. These Fan Fiends, I can take out two of them, but I have to take that second one because, well, I'm also able to dodge the pippies with the invisibility frames, so it's all good there. Got a little forced rush coil use, because, well, can't really do anything about that. Now, right here at this midpoint, this is kind of a bit of a tricky platforming section with the darkness, but actually it's not too bad. I can actually dodge this first tripeller, but this one here and the next one, which is actually very tricky to hit, considering that this platform spins a bunch, and if I'm not careful, I'm almost forced to take a hit. One last section here, I can pretty much ignore these enemies, even though it means I have to wait, but I can do a little jig while I'm at it. This was actually a section back in my early years when Mega Man 7 and Mega Man X were my first games I ever played. This section I just always used the rush adapter and all that stuff, but not anymore now. And here we finally reach base for the very first time. Back in the SNES version, you would actually fight him in the intro stage, and that was actually just a battle you could either win or lose if you want, no real harm. Here, base is actually pretty tricky, and he's also very pattern-based. He jumps around a few times, he'll only shoot pellets at you when you're about his level, and then when he starts charging up his base buster, I'll call it, he will not shoot pellets at you during that phase, so you can actually get easy shots on him. The one thing you have to note is you have to be very careful not to miss many shots in this fight. With the ammo that I've used, at best I can only miss one shot at most, because considering the next boss, it's gonna be a problem because of a few reasons. But until then, base, he's actually a pretty good challenge, and for this stage, there were only two weapons that I could really only use for this stage. The first being the crush noise, and the other actually being the buster. There technically was another weapon I could have used for this stage, at least in this version, with the slash claw. Unfortunately, base only takes 1 damage from the slash claw, and even though he's programmed to leave at 1 HP, you actually have to hit him at 1 HP. But yeah, it kind of sucks. But if anything sucks, it's this boss, Gutsman G. Basically, if you missed the intro, Wily rescued him from the Robot Museum, and now he's been modified with a claw and treads. He actually ends up being a much more difficult fight than I would have liked, because as you can see, the crush noise can actually push the blocks, but you have to be very precise at hitting them just the right time, because if he pushes them first, you're gonna lose some ammo and all that. Here, I'm not getting the timing down, so I'm kind of messing up a little bit here. Now, if you see him pinching his claws, that's the reason why I don't have the no damage rule, because I cannot hit Gutsman in the face. And if he grabs me, he's going to do pretty much more than 1/4 of my health as far as damage. So if I just run into him, I take half as much. And in the end, this took 48 attempts, be it base causing problems early on, Gutsman and his randomness, or just some failed jumps. I'm finally glad to have this done. So yeah, this has been Tapras, signing out once again. We'll see you for Stage 2, which is a lot more easy on the mind.